Dear students of class 9A and 9B, welcome to my history civics class. Today's teaching chapter is lesson number 8, chapter 8, the Delhi Sultanate. And today, the last few dynasties who ruled during the last part of the Delhi Sultanate, now we are going to discuss about them. The first one, Khalji, after having after having ruled the Khalji dynasty, Alauddin Khalji's rule came to an end. And then afterwards, another one, who was he? He was Muhammad bin Tughlaq came to power. But Muhammad bin Tughlaq could not achieve success. All his schemes had become all his schemes fell flat, and ultimately he could not achieve success and could not gain popularity from the country. Afterwards, the new dynasty came to power. The new dynasty that was, after the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his nephew Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq came to power. That is Firoz Shah Tughlaq came to power. But Firoz Shah Tughlaq, as I taught you earlier, was a very simple-hearted, simple-minded man, could not control the nobles, and hence, but his simplicity, his kind-hearted, as a kind-hearted person, he gained popularity, and he also gained respect from the people during his period, and hence the nobles made him the king of the Delhi Sultanate. And during his rule, he constructed so many, near about 1,000 gardens, near about 300 cities he constructed, and he gave concession to the teachers who taught their students. Besides, he also made an arrangement for the agricultural growth and development. A number of canals he constructed, number of roads also he constructed, and number of trees he planted, and also rest houses also he constructed. So the developmental programs, whatever he adapted, made him a very popular king of the Delhi Sultanate. But after his death, other one who are those who were there, they had no capability to gain at least respect from the country by way of making good works, by way of adapting good policies for the people, for the all-round development of the country. That's why, my dear students, afterwards, after the end of Tughlaq dynasty, after the end of the rule of Tughlaq dynasty, another dynasty came to power, the Sayyid dynasty. The Sayyid dynasty, there were 4 Sayyid kings who ruled during the Sayyid dynasty, but out of 3, only one was incompetent. That one was Khizr Khan, who was very incompetent ruler. But Khizr Khan could not achieve success only because of his, not only his some drawbacks and shortcomings, but also Khizr Khan's vision was lacked to establish a lasting empire. That's why Khizr Khan failed to achieve success. Although he tried to make up his defects by way of controlling the nobles, but was unable to achieve success. Ultimately, Bahlul Khan from one Afghan nobles came to power. Bahlul Khan came to power, and Bahlul Khan introduced a new dynasty. The name of the dynasty is, Lodi dynasty. The Lodi dynasty was introduced by Baharul Lodi, the founder ruler, and afterwards he came to power, and then he implemented new policies for the country. But afterwards he also extended his empire. Jaunpur, Uttar Pradesh, Gwalior. These are the places came under his control, and he also sent his eldest son there as governor of Jaunpur, and then his second son, after his death, his second son Sikandar Lodi ascended the throne. His second son Sikandar Lodi ascended the throne. On being ascended the throne, Sikandar Lodi decided to implement good policies and the footsteps of his father. And Sikandar Lodi's policies, which were framed by him, made him popular, and ultimately he tried to crush the growing influence of the nobles during his times, who had been trying to reduce his power and trying to interfere with internal politics. He did not want to allow them to have access to the internal politics of the Lodi dynasty. Ultimately, he was able, but to some extent, he followed a policy of diplomacy, and ultimately, that kind of work helped him to reach his goal. And he also created a reliable, nobles who always remained with him during his distress, during his crisis period, and always he used to take suggestions from them. Those who had on those who had faith and belief. Ultimately, after the death of Sikandar Lodi, his son Ibrahim Lodi came to power. Ibrahim Lodi came to power after the death of his father, Sikandar Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi came to power. But Ibrahim Lodi, from the very, very beginning, was proved to be incompetent because he was very arrogant, he was very, dangerous, and he did not want to show any mercy towards those who committed a very mild offense. There was no excuse in his dictionary, no sympathy in his dictionary. He always unsympathetic towards those who always committed a very mild offense. That's why the fame and glory, whatever he should have been acquired, he could not acquire it. He could not acquire it, and he could not establish his popularity among the people, and hence he became an extremely unpopular ruler during his time. As a result of it, the people during his period did not accept him to be their ruler. He led a very luxurious life. What his father Sikandar Lodi followed, he did not follow it. Sikandar Lodi led a very simple life, and always spent money for the welfare of the country, for the welfare of the people. But his son Ibrahim Lodi, from the very, very beginning, led a very luxurious life and always remained busy in the Rang Mahal with the dancer. The dancers were invited, were called by offering huge money to perform on the floor in front of him or before other nobles. By this way, he led a very luxurious life, and he had no attention to the administration, how the administration was running, and what was about the officers' performance. He did not have any inquiry. He did not like to make any inquiry of it. As a result of it, the administration proved to be inefficient, proved to be unsuccessful, and there was no person who was honest. Most of them automatically became dishonest, and they took advantage. By taking advantage, they all were trying to make money. But at the time when he was leading such a very costly life, that time Ibrahim Lodi's uncle Haram Shah and Daulat Khan Lodi, one relative, decided to shift him from power. And that he was going to be shifting from power, he did not have any knowledge. Neither he could come to know that he was going to be shifted from power, nor he could take any precautionary measure against those who were making such plotting against him. As a result of it, my dear students, both the two persons, his uncle and one of his relative, Governor Daulat Khan Lodi, invited one foreign ruler who was the ruler of Afghanistan, whose name was Babur, called him to invade India and to shift Ibrahim Lodi from power. They requested Babur to invade India and to get back. Babur did not disclose his intention, and that he accepted their proposal to invade India, he made it sure. As a result of it, they all were pleased that a very powerful ruler of Afghanistan was coming to invade India. After having invaded India, he would get back and they would rule that country after Ibrahim Lodi. Babur came. Babur faced the battle against Ibrahim Lodi. In the first battle of Panipat in the year 1526, Ibrahim Lodi challenged. The challenge, whatever Babur made him, Ibrahim Lodi accepted it. And while fighting against Babur, Ibrahim Lodi was defeated and finally killed. He was the one ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, Ibrahim Lodi, who was killed while fighting against his enemies. But ultimately, after his death, Babur did not get back his empire, Afghanistan, but he established a rule in India. He founded the Mughal dynasty, and ultimately the person who invited him first, Daulat Khan Lodi requested Babur for the last time to get back to his own country, to his own place, and let him allow to rule. Babur said, once he dreamt that he would become the ruler of India. The political condition of Afghanistan is not good. He is also a peaceful ruler, although he is a brave one, but at the same time peaceful also. That's why he would like to leave the country, Afghanistan, and decided to establish a new dynasty in India, since the fauna and flora of India, the natural scene of India, the natural atmosphere of India attracted him a lot. I heard a lot about India and its people. That's why I have decided to establish a rule of my dynasty, the Mughal dynasty. So I don't want to leave the country. On hearing the message of Babur, Daulat Khan Lodi started plotting against him, and finally he was also defeated by Babur. And in course of time, Babur removed all the enemies who were against him, and he also made his way clear, and then concentrated to establish a new and strong administration in India. Ultimately, he proved to be a very powerful ruler of India. Later on we shall discuss about it. And then The new era started in India after having killed Ibrahim Lodi, last Sultan of the Delhi Sultanate. Ibrahim Lodi was defeated and killed at the hands of Babur in the first battle of Panipat in the year 1526. And Babur established a new dynasty in India named the Mughal dynasty. The Mughal dynasty, Babur is the founder ruler of the Mughal dynasty. And then how did he achieve success? And after having established a new dynasty, how did he gain success and achieve success? And what was about the expedition he had took, and who were his enemies trying to crush his power? How did he establish a rule? How did he gain faith of the people? These all will be discussed in my next class, my dear students. Up to this, for today's discussion, and before ending my class, once again I would like to give certain ideas of today's lesson. The lesson is a Sayyid dynasty, Lodi dynasty, Bahlul Lodi, Sikandar Lodi, Ibrahim Lodi. Sayyid dynasty, Khizr Khan was one of them. Out of four Sayyid rulers was incompetent, could not achieve success, and the other three, they achieved success, but there is no name mentioned in this book about them. And next one, Lodi dynasty. Bahlul Lodi was the founder ruler of the Lodi dynasty. Then his son came to power. His son was Sikandar Lodi. Bahlul Lodi, afterwards Sikandar Lodi came to power, but Sikandar Lodi took some initiative in order to satisfy the need and expectations of the people of Delhi. He shifted his capital from Delhi to Agra, and afterwards his son came to power, Ibrahim Lodi. But Ibrahim Lodi did not have any knowledge of internal politics. He did not have any knowledge of diplomacy, but always liked to lead a very luxurious life. He remained busy on the floor with the dancers. The dancer always tried to satisfy him in order to have valuable ornaments and stones from him. By this way, he spent a lot of money from the royal treasury, but ultimately could not concentrate to his administration, could not frame new policies for the all-round development of the country. And as a result of it, my dear students, his uncle and one of his relatives, Daulat Khan Lodi, invited Babur to invade India and to defeat last Delhi Sultanate Ibrahim Lodi. As a result of it, in the first battle of Panipat in the year 1526, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi and killed him on the battlefield and established a new dynasty, the Mughal dynasty. Up to this, my dear students, today's teaching, and if you have any confusion, you let me know. I shall help you as far as possible. Use my comment box. Thank you.